Based on some of the questions we got over the weekend, it triggered that a lot of people may not really know how to wash their fruits and vegetables when they get home. We were fortunate enough as members of the Canadian Produce Marketing Association to get documentation and information on what they recommend for people to implement in terms of how to prepare their fresh fruits and vegetables for their own safety. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to share this information with our followers and our customers. I know each of you may have your own practices that work for you and you love them and you don't need to change them. This is not about changing your mind or telling you what's right or wrong. This is simply sharing information that we have been given from a resource that we trust to our audience. So the first thing I want to start off with is the information that we have received to date is that COVID-19 currently is not transmittable on food. Research is still being done by scientists and food safety experts and whatnot, but at this point we haven't heard anything to confirm that that's any different. So I just want to state that clearly at the beginning of this. So we're going to break this out into 3 different areas of the fresh fruit and vegetable process. So we'll talk about shopping, we'll talk about cleaning, and then we'll talk about storage. So when you're going shopping for your fresh fruits and vegetables, whether they're being delivered to you or you are going to a grocery store or you're doing a curbside pickup, which we are offering today, currently as well, whatever your method of getting your groceries is, there are some simple things that you need to keep in mind. So one is, when buying fresh fruits and vegetables, you want to make sure that there's no bruises or damages to them. If there is, we'll talk about how to take care of that in the next section, but that's what you want to look for if you can. Secondly, you want to make sure that if you are using reusable shopping bags, that those reusable shopping bags are cleaned every single time you use them. We've always known we should do that, but I think with COVID-19, it's something that we should actually implement. And some of you may have been implementing it from the very beginning, and that's amazing, but I know some of us, sometimes we never get to it and we just continue to use those reusable bags. This is the time for you to really be on top of that. Those bags are touching many surfaces, there's many things coming in, so I highly recommend making sure that you wash those reusable bags. Once you have all of your groceries and you get home, I will tell you personally what I do. So we kind of walk in, I wash my hands with soap and water for the 20 seconds. I then, as I remove each item from my grocery bag, I actually wipe down that item. So we have Lysol wipes or whatever wipes that you're using and we wipe it down, the outer packaging of it. And nothing gets put on the counter until I know that it has been wiped down. It's just a practice that we have, but that's what I do. At that point, we wash our hands again with soap and water for the 20 seconds. Now I'm ready to work with my fresh fruits and vegetables. So rule of thumb, always, even pre-COVID-19, fresh fruits and vegetables should always be separated from your meats, your fish, and your poultry. Never keep them in the same area. Try to have them in separate bags. Rule of thumb, just across the board. So now I've got my fresh fruits and vegetables. So the CPMA highly recommend only washing your fresh fruits and vegetables in a cold water bath. So whether it be cold running water or whether it be soaking it in cold water, only doing that. Now I know several people or companies out there offer, vinegars or food soaps or whatnot. If something that you found works for you, I strongly recommend you continue to use it if it works for you. This is just our practices and similar with what the CPMA is saying. I'm not trying to influence or change any behaviors. I'm just giving you information. The reason that we do not recommend soap is because depending on the fresh fruit and vegetable, it will absorb that soap. For some, it may not be an issue, but for some, it could cause stomach issues and discomfort because food will absorb what you apply to it. Once you're done washing it, you need to dry the product. Whether you lay that out to dry or you pat it dry, depending on the item, it's up to you on the approach, but you should dry it before putting it in the fridge and keeping it on cool temperatures. It has to be on the cool temperatures in your refrigerator for food safety perspectives. This will ensure that bacteria is not growing on anything and that things are kept at the temperature that they need to be kept at. So the last thing I will say, if you find something that you've picked up or was delivered to you or curbside pickup that does have a little bit of damage or bruising, remove the damage or bruising and maybe use that item right away or cut it up and put it in a container so that it's available for us to consume that day. Okay, so you don't want to put anything with bruises or damage. It's just going to continue to spoil and potentially spoil other items that may be in the same compartment. So we strongly recommend that as well. Lastly, my practice, so one of the recommendations is anything with a hard surface like oranges or cantaloupe or watermelon, CPMA recommends using a dry brush to brush the products. You can do that. One of the ways that I personally do it is I will always wash the outer skin of a cantaloupe or a watermelon with cold water, even before I cut it, even before COVID-19. I would always wash the outside with cold water because you're cutting your knife right through the skin. So from a safety perspective, I think it just makes sense to do it that way for me personally, but each of you may have your own processes as well. So that's another option for you. And then of course, once you are done putting everything away and washing everything, it's important that you sanitize and wash the counter, that everything was on. And then wash your hands again with soap and water, and now you're ready to go. So just to recap, when shopping, try to buy things that don't have bruises or damages. Ensure that you're keeping your fresh fruits and vegetables separated from your meats, poultries, and dairy and fish. If you're using reusable bags, make sure you're washing them. When you get home, ensure that your counter space has been cleaned, wash your hands, remove your items from the bag, washing those. Wash your fruits and vegetables in cold water, pat them dry, and put them into the fridge in the fastest amount of time that you possibly can. So that's my update for today. I hope it helps some of you. If you have other questions, I will always try my best to find an answer for you. If I don't know the answer, I will try my best to find an answer. If I do know the answer, I'll give you my opinion, and we can go from there. But what's important is that we take these extra measures for our own safety, our own peace of mind, and just moving forward. So thank you very much for following. Thank you to all of you who've come out and have supported us with the curbside pickup. I mean, we are learning. This is all brand new stuff for us. It has been a whirlwind. The days are going crazy, but we're doing it. There's great times. There's lots of questions, processes, but I want to thank you all for supporting and sharing and giving us feedback and being the awesome people you are, because you are the reason we are trying to figure this out for you. So thank you and stay in touch. We'll see you soon.